Hello, I Seem Fun friends. This is the intro to this week's I Seem Fun. That's right, I'm driving and introing it on my phone. Don't worry, I'm hands-free. Now, you're probably wondering, oh my God, Jen taped an episode in the studio. What's going on? Is she a rich bitch now? The All Things Comedy Network, go to allthingscomedy.com, is the fantastic podcast network that my podcast is part of, run by comedians, not the establishment. And they have beautiful studios that are always at my disposal. I've never used them for my own podcast. I've done other people's podcasts there. But, such as the Crab Feast and Eddie Pepitone's Pep Talks. But we have a new social media person at All Things Comedy, and he wanted to come and get a feel for my podcast and Periscope it live. I don't know if any of you watched that last week. That was sort of a surprise that happened. So this episode technically has already aired live on Periscope last week. And anyway, our new guy, Brenton, was like, yeah, just let me know. I'll come watch your recording. And I was like, well, normally they're in my bed, so that might be weird. Why don't I do one in the studio, and then you'll still get the same feel for what I do, and the pictures will look good because they'll have the logo of All Things Comedy. And so I did an email listener episode, and the reason I chose to do that, a listener email episode, the reason I chose to do that is because I print out the emails and I read them, and I like the feeling of being at a desk. Sometimes when I'm at home and I do the listener email episodes, I sit in my office and at my desk, and it feels like we're getting business done. And I write notes on the page as I read. And it's a lot when I'm recording my own off an app. And during listener email episodes, I absolutely have screwed up my own recordings. You know, there's been many times I have hit pause when I didn't know I did. When I've accidentally deleted something, I've at least wasted a few hours of my life not actually recording when I thought I was. So I think when I have things in my hands and want to look at my computer or reference something, I think I like doing that in the studio. And it's really good for my voice because I can modulate, proper modulation, my voice better. And everything's done and it's right in the Dropbox. I don't have to upload something and wait an hour. So while I Seem Fun episodes where I talk off the top of my head, turn right, and wander around my apartment for inspiration, those will always be the heart of I Seem Fun. But I may once in a while hit the studio to do our listener email episodes where I feel very official and like I'm broadcasting to you from somewhere very special. So I hope you enjoyed it. And go to JenKirkman.com, click on tour dates. There are tickets on sale right now for Toronto, Vancouver, Winnipeg, London, Manchester, Burlington, Vermont, Scottsdale, Arizona, and Los Angeles. I would encourage you all to buy tickets in advance. Some people ask me if I ever add shows if I sell out. No, because you people buy tickets at the door. You can't add a show that night. But if things sell out in advance, I can add shows, I can play bigger venues. It's really a nice thing you can do for an artist, buying the tickets in advance, especially if you know you're coming. And if you can't come, you can always sell them. There are always people on Twitter, and I retweet if people can't come and they want to sell their tickets. If it's, I'll help you out. But I really encourage the advance ticket sales. This is how people move to the next level. Someone came up to me in Minneapolis. I think you could play a bigger venue. I was like, no, I can't. Actually, there's a science to this. We've got it figured out. But thank you for your suggestion. If I could, I would. We're not there yet. But what helps us get there is advanced ticket sales. Creates a buzz and a hype. The show sells out. People that didn't get in go, ooh, how come I missed out? I'll go next time. The audio version of my book, I Know What I'm Doing and Other Lies I Tell Myself, is available on Audible or iTunes. But you'll find everything on my website that you could ever need. Go to iTunes, by the way. Subscribe, even if you don't listen. It gets my numbers up in that top 100 if people actually subscribe. And leave a 5-star review. You can write something snarky instead of a sincere thing. I know that there's my fan, not my fan, this woman that is, I have someone stalking me. They keep changing their identity. First they're a man, then they say they're a trans woman, then they say they're a person of color. They stalk me online. They were the ones that were trying to disrupt my show in San Francisco. They have now taken to writing nasty reviews on my iTunes because I am going to vote for Hillary in the general election. I don't really understand it. But in my incessant making fun of Bernie bros on Twitter, which has nothing to do with Bernie, well, listen, it does come from the top down. But you know what I'm saying? I'm making fun of the young people. Not the ones that believe in change, but the ones that troll for words and start writing to me. Hillary Clinton stood in front of 4 dead bodies. So I'll always make fun of those people. I'll never stop. And it gets me threats. So maybe I should stop. I probably will. Not because I've been silenced, but because I value my life. So, you know, you can counterbalance that psycho's iTunes reviews, and you can write, I don't know, what would you write? Don't write anything about her, obviously. I know people are stupid and they will. Just write love the haters. How's that? Okay, enjoy this week's episode.
I see the fun. I see the fun. The Diary of Jen Kirkman podcast.
Okay, now we're recording. I see the numbers. You guys, you've just heard the theme song. JK here. This is I Seem Fun, the Diary of Jen Kirkman podcast. The first one not taped from my home. That's a lie. I've taped many on the road. Are you nodding, Aaron, because of that fact or the sound?
Because of that fact.
Oh, do you listen to my podcast? No, you don't. It's okay. Oh my God.
There's 55.
I think I was one of the first. I don't know if I was. I don't know if that's true. I just know Al Madrigal called me. You can get in on the ground floor of... listen, I'm at the studio built by hand. No. Of Al Madrigal and Bill Burr's All Things Comedy Network. I never come to the studio because I'm not good with booking time. I'm not good with staying on time. I'm not good with remembering I have to do stuff. So I want to explain, if anyone's seeing this, I do have a coffee. I found out that's a whole thing. You guys don't know about that. My beautiful fans of the podcast too. My voice is fucked up because I had this acid reflux I didn't know about. It was silent. It was coming up for years. That's why it sounded like this. And it's getting a lot better. I'm on a special diet. But coffee was something they said to stay away from. But I just found out coffee's kind of a neutral. It's not quite that acidic. And it's okay to have in moderation. So I have a decaf with lots of almond milk twice a week. And I probably won't even finish this whole thing. But I feel like it helps my ADD. Okay, great story. Here we go. And this, I know you guys are like, why does anyone listen to this podcast? The people are fucking weird. They like to listen to me when they're doing their laundry or walking around. A lot of couples listen in bed. One person's not a fan. The other one is and is trying to avoid sex. A lot of people love this. To my friends in the room, Brenton, who works for All Things Comedy, his beautiful girlfriend Cassie is here visiting, and producer Aaron. They're probably like, this is boring. But listen, you can go leave. Go listen to someone who's going to interview someone. Go get up right now. I'm sure somewhere down the hall, one comedian is talking to a more successful comedian, and then they'll post that, and it'll be great. Or one comedian is successful, and they now have access to famous people, and they're talking. What? Oh, fuck. Don't even put that on Periscope. Don't put what just happened. Don't tell. Bill Burr will kill me. Kill me once he finds out who I am. Now, listen. We're beginning. Okay. I love you all. So this is a listener email episode. Can I take this mic out? No, I cannot. I can move it, though, like this, right? Oh, this is good. I'm going to put my feet up. So You people, you people, the fans. There's a lot of dead spot silence in my podcast too. And actually, in real life, IRL, I had to pee before this started. In real life, I would just start recording at home and then go pee. Not so they could hear it, but I'd run away and like put some music on or just leave it silent. People don't care. That's how starved they are for anything. They really just don't care anymore how they're treated. Okay, so this week, listeners wrote in emails. It can be questions. It can be, hey, should I tweet out that I'm being periscoped right now? Okay, hang on one sec. See, this means nothing. No, you don't periscope the whole thing, do you?
I'll periscope as much as you want.
Oh, you can periscope as much as you want?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I didn't know how that... I haven't used my periscope in a long time. Oh my God, it says no service in here. Is there Wi-Fi? Oh, okay. So guys, as we're talking, this is so I seem fun. You don't even understand. Let me just get connected to my wireless. Do you understand? Is that the password, that weird word under it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you allowed to say Wi-Fi passwords on the air? Or is that... I'm not going to, but I'm just saying in general, in society, is that a thing that has to be very secret? It seems like the one password that you can be like, you know what the Wi-Fi password is at Studio 8 where I tape at midnight or, you know, whatever. That's not like a security risk. I'm not going to do it just in case it is, but I'm just saying. Someone tweeted at me today that Bill Clinton is a Nazi. I didn't know. IHAMAS. This password has the word Hamas in it somewhere. I'm just saying maybe I should report it to someone. I think I just joined Hamas, putting that passcode in. Okay, here we go. All right, now I'm going to pretend like you guys aren't here, because if I start performing, my voice changes and it's annoying to people. They have to feel like I'm just talking to them. We're going to get back into that register. Okay, hey, everybody. Guys, I'm live. What's the Periscope address?
Just tag All Things Comedy.
Oh,
We're streaming it from our account.
I'm live on Periscope, taping an I Seem Fun in studio right now. Airs next week, just in case. Then they're going to be like, autocorrect just wanted to change this to AIDS next week. I hope not. Hang on one sec. Also, earlier today, my autocorrect corrected platonic to Playboy, which I thought was funny. It's two very different things. Okay, here we go. Okay, bye. Okay. So let's see what people have to say this week. Hi, Jen. Don't use my name. I've been listening to the podcast from the beginning, and people, okay. This is his sentence. I have been listening to the podcast from the beginning, and it's absolutely hilarious. Thank you. I wanted to let you know that I have become a fan of going on vacation alone. I have been unemployed for the last month. Don't worry, haters, I'm fine. I saved my money and have something new lined up, so fuck off. Ooh. Okay. I have basically been traveling around the U.S. on my own for the last 3 weeks. They have been the funnest, spelled wrong, trips I've ever been on. I've met so many new people and have had a blast. I don't know why more people don't travel alone. I don't have to worry about anyone and can do whatever without an E, hell I want. Why am I being such a cunt about the spelling? Who cares? I now hate the thought of going on vacation with friends or family. I probably wouldn't have done this if it weren't for the podcast. Thank you. Okay, there's more to it. But I need to stop here and explain to people that I have just influenced someone to live their life differently. I have just influenced someone to waste gas, not carpool, use up resources in a hotel by themselves. As we sit here with the Pacific garbage patch and probably 20 good years left before we start dying in natural disasters. So thank you. You're welcome. Also, the music you listen to on the podcast is fantastic. I'm in my 20s and the music my generation listens to is shit. I'd rather hear a bulimic, Belemic, puke all day long. At least he got, this is what annoys me when people say, oh, she's anorexic, she throws up. Two separate things. Anorexics do not throw up, bulimics do. I normally listen while driving, so I can't write it down when you mention the song. Is there any way you can put the music played on the podcast in the description? What are you, fucking stupid? No, ass. This. Okay, first of all, and I say this with love to everyone, don't ask stupid fucking questions. Yeah, why don't I put the name of a song on the internet and announce that I'm playing it? I'm sure Elton John, the estate of Prince, and other people will be like, cool, we definitely won't try to get money from her. No, I cannot do that. Also, I know you're normally driving when you listen to the podcast, but you can do this thing where you get home and you can re-listen to it. And listen, I'm not in the best mood. I'm not in the worst mood. But I definitely, I'm telling it like it is. That's what I love about you. She tells it like it is. I don't have time to tell it like it is. I'm in my cubicle taking care of my family. That's a recurring character called the Live, Laugh, Love Lady. Sir, I cannot. But there is an I Seem Fun Spotify list. Is Spotify the one where you, Aaron, what's Spotify? You make a mix. It's not Pandora, right? That's a different thing. Pandora? No, but Spotify is like, I'm making a mix based on how beautiful Jen is. Like, that's right. Okay. That's what's happening. But it's about my podcast. So, so if you go to Twitter at I Seem Fun Podcast and you tweet out, what's the Spotify address? I'll help you find it because I don't remember. But thank you for liking the music. I have okay taste in music. 20-year-olds think my taste in music is amazing because what with the internet and everything, they have no ability to go back and find out anything that happened before. But I like the basic good stuff. Like, as far as punk goes, I like the Ramones and the Sex Pistols. Real punks would be like, I have to know about Skulls in the Face, and they never made an album. That's how punk they are. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know that. And, I like funk, and I like Sly and the Family Stone. But people who are really into funk are like, you have to know Floopadoo. And then, so I know like the basics of good, all kinds of music. But, and even the pop I like is good. I just heard that. Who is that person I had to pretend to like? Don't believe it, just watch. Not Kendrick Lamar. Dance Floor Rainbow. What's his name? Bruno Mars. Awful. Awful. Not interesting. I'd rather listen to what he thinks he sounds like. But anyway, so thank you for liking my music. My taste isn't that good. And you, as you say, just have a generation that listens to shit, which I think those, like what I call air raid signal music, that's like, like I've been taking, this exercise class in addition to my normal, like old lady Pilates and walking. Sometimes I'll take this class called Pop Physique, and it's such a small room. It only fits like 15 people comfortably if they're moving around. And the woman that teaches it wears a headset mic. And I performed for more people with no mic. And she's all like distorted. She's talking on it like this. Like, get up there. That's right. Small movements. Up, and then up. And you have no idea what she's saying. And then because she's screaming over this music that's like, and I'm like, if you just turn that fuck down, then we could hear what you're saying. So whatever that music is awful. And then, my rant about the Black Keys when I saw them. I saw them at a music festival. They played at night. Billy Idol had taken his shirt off in his leather pants at 4 p.m. playing the Old People Show. Guitarist was ripping. He was amazing. He was a showman. His attitude was like, I will fuck all of you right now simultaneously with this one dick. And then the Black Keys got up and they looked like they had dropped something down their shirt and they couldn't find it in their bra. Heads down, just like then don't perform if you don't want to look at me. So if you're talking about them, I agree. But I think there's a lot of great music. I think you guys should get into some of my friends' bands. Like, do you know Ted Leo and Amy Mann have a great band? I'm not saying, they're my great friends. I'm saying that sounded name droppy. That's not how I meant it. But you got to get into Ted Leo's music Amy Mann, and then they have a band together called Both, which is great. And I feel like anything that's new, wouldn't you call that of your generation? It's like there's new music coming out all the time, and we're all different ages. So isn't it all of our generation's music? So you must mean, do you mean music that's geared towards 20-somethings by other 20-somethings? Or like, I don't know if you mean the rock music is shit or the dance music is shit, but I don't know. What's that band? I keep thinking it's not Belle Biv DeVoe. It's like quiet people, not Belle and Sebastian. It's like three names. Not Neutral Milk Hotel. Who cares? There's a band out there that I bet I hate, but I've never heard them. Great story. Okay. Oh, okay. So then he says, is that legal without paying royalties? So he's not being, no, it is not legal. The way that I get away with playing the songs is that I don't, like, I play them on a boombox, says the 100-year-old woman. I play them on a speaker, and I talk over them, and I don't play them that long, and it's known as parody. It'd be awesome if you can start a list in the description of each episode, or don't. I don't give a fuck. Thank you for being realistic. I probably won't, but there are lots of people out there, person whose name I won't say, that are in their cubicles, and they have started a Spotify list. And when I've done live I Seem Fun shows, my opening pre-show music is always songs that have been played on the podcast. There's one song I remember, Big Fun by Kool and the Gang. Okay, you can listen to that over and over. Okay. Just an FYI, I just tried to write mental health in the subject line, and oh, this is someone else. Okay, sorry. Thanks. Why won't you let me use your name? Oh, let's talk more about traveling alone. So I have a show in London. Ooh, come out and see me, London. This is your plug. I'll be at the Soho Theatre in London. I've said that 10 times. April 28th. No, not April. Last week I had one. I forgot to go. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope they gave you a refund. July 18th through the 24th, just 6 shows, one night only, no opening act. I come right on. I start. It's a goddamn cabaret, and I treat it with respect. And then I get off stage, and I hide backstage for a minute and pretend I'm doing something important. And then I come out, and I will be selling copies of my new book. I Know What I'm Doing in Other Lives, I tell myself. Erin, that's your new favorite book for summer, right? Beach read? Mm-hmm. And then I'll sign it, and I think I'm going to sell it for £20. And that's it. And that's a discount, BT dubs. So, what was I saying? Oh, so after that, it's July. And I think when you're in London, it's a good time. You can't just, if you have time off, if you're like me and you live a life of luxury, if you go to London and you don't have to get right back home, you're a dingbat if you don't take a little money and go to at least one other country. They're all easy to get to. It's like if you live in Maine, you take a ride to Connecticut, right? So don't do the math on the mileage. But I'm going to Venice, Italy. I've never been. I Googled it. I mean, I knew what it was. I did extensive research, which means I Googled it and read 3 TripAdvisor comments, and it seems to be the safest city for a woman alone in Italy. Now, Naples is supposed to be the most gorgeous, but it's a lot of dudes like on street corners like, hey, baby. And not that I don't mind getting catcalled in Italy, but I don't know the culture well enough to know if I can go like, hey, fuck off, like a sassy broad, or someone's going to kill me. Now, I don't assume they have as many guns as we have here, or any. But I don't know. With those beautiful Italian shoes, I feel like they can run like bastards and come after me. And I feel like, I shouldn't say it. It's going to trigger someone. I feel like sex against your will there is just like, hey, so what? So I'm just trying to be safe. But what was my point? Oh, I've always wanted to go. And I love some alone time because I got to tell you, after doing the shows in London, and I'm doing Manchester, July 24th at the Pub Zoo. It's my debut. It's only a couple hundred seats, so definitely get tickets now. It's on my website, jenkirkman.com. Click tour dates. And then I'll be at the Suffolk Latitude Music Festival on July 23rd. So that's a lot for my voice. Is that anyone in this room does not know, I have vocal nodules. I'm not supposed to talk more than an hour a day while I'm in recovery. I should not be touring, but I am. Because I love the fans. I fucking got in this thing on Twitter last night. I'll tell you about that later. So I want 3 days alone where I don't have to speak. And I don't have to speak in Italy because I can't speak Italy-ish. And so I won't. I got an English-speaking tour guide to take me around for one day. And not like a walking tour. Not like I get in someone's car and drive. Like I picture Roberto Benigni just like, it's beautiful here. And like, I'm just like, help. And I'm stuck in a car. But, so remember when everyone loved him? They were like, he makes us feel good. And he would just come on to awards shows and just be like, you Americans, this is not serious. This life is beautiful. And just run around like a maniac. Where has he been? I feel like he needs to step in and make us feel amazing again because everyone is so angry about everything with the election. And now Johnny Depp is beating people. What the fuck? Okay, anyone have a pen? Do you have a pen? I need to make notes about, and this is supposed to be a listener email episode, but I seem to can't stop talking. So we're going to get into traveling alone, as our friend who won't let me say his name wrote in. Oh my God, you're a dream. So we're going to talk about Johnny Depp is beating everybody. And I guess that was it. I just had to write down Johnny Depp. So the day that okay, let me just finish this Italy thing. So I'm going to go for 3 days and walk around. And a few people have been like, you're going alone? Aw. And I was like, listen, even if I were in a relationship, which I might be by then, you don't know what's going on in my life. And that would not be the ideal situation for the relationship. Because it would be me, whenever I perform for 10 days, I have to go on vocal rest for 3 days after, which means not speaking really. So instead of fly home and sit in my apartment quietly, I'll go to Venice, fuckers. So I'm not sad about it. I love seeing things. And the worst thing is when you're with someone and you're trying to like mold them into someone they're not. And you're like, why don't you appreciate this? And they don't. And then you're like, but it's beautiful. And imagine if you didn't have to tell someone that they're wrong about everything all the time. Or like just find out stuff about someone you don't want to know. Like, I can't believe they don't care where grapes come from. And you never have to know that about someone. Okay, anyway, so I hear you for traveling alone on your own around the U.S. Would you write back and tell us where you've been? I actually am interested in your fun trips. I loved last summer. I drove, through Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, as I was taught to say as a kid. And no one really says that. You know, when a word, you're pronouncing it correctly, but you sound like an asshole. I know it's technically Missouri, but I won't say it. I just started getting comfortable saying Oregon. So I will never say Nolans. I feel like an asshole. My mother, like, it's Nolans, Jen. That's how they say it. So, all right. Johnny Depp beating everybody. And I think it's funny to say everybody. So her name is Amber. Here's my thing with that. And then his ex, well, I guess Vanessa Paradis was never his wife. They just had kids for 14 years together and continue to. The kids didn't die just because they're not together anymore. I guess we have to murder the children now. That's so sad. So she came out and said, I can't believe this. He was always so amazing to me. And I feel like where the internet sucks is there's no nuance. It's like, I'm with Amber. And then the other people are like, I'm going to wait and see. I love when people think they're so smart. When they're like, well, we don't know all the stories yet. I'm going to wait and see. Oh, shut up. If someone says they're beaten, they probably were beaten. Unless she's so fucking nuts that she doesn't care that we might eventually find out it's not true. No woman is like, you know what I can't wait to do? Get online and talk about my rape or being beaten. Because people are going to be amazing about it. No one wants that. It's going to be really good for my career to go up against the most famous, beloved man who's, wearing costumes all the time and making kids laugh. Johnny Depp has become our clown. You realize that, right? He's our Roberto Benigni. Like, But he's quieter. He's like, I don't know. I just put on, I'm a pirate, and then I'm Alice in Wonderland, and then I'm, sometimes have scissors in my hands, and sometimes I just do it for the kids, But here's the thing and this is the final say, I'm correct, I go to therapy. Psychology is my part-time job. If you are abusive to a woman, it doesn't mean you are abusive to every woman you're with. I am not abusive, but I, for example, always was, this is a terrible example, but I always was the type of person who had a crush on everyone. I'm flirty. I don't want to commit. I don't want to settle down. And that kind of lifestyle, ladies, was causing me a lot of angst and pain in my 20s. Unavailable men or men who are like, cool, I don't want anything either. And then I fall in love with them, or the other way around. And it was just like, you know what? Let me just pick someone and settle down. And so I met someone at 30. We were together until I was 37. We were married for 2 of those years. In those 7 years, I completely managed to squash all that flirtations I would have with other people and all that sense I need of drama and of having, any pick of any guys and stuff like that. I squashed it. And then when I got divorced, I was like, ooh, that was crazy. And then this analogy makes no sense. I almost want to stop it, but I'll just finish. And then I went back to, running around. And then now I know that you don't just pick someone to settle down with. And I know that for me, I would like a committed monogamous relationship. And so that is what I do now. But it took a lot of work to get there. This is not the same. I'm not comparing it. But I'm saying it is perhaps possible in the abuser cycle that Johnny Depp is not good at conflict in relationships. He is triggered by a certain kind of person who is triggered by him. These people in life find each other. 2 magnets. Game matches game. Trauma attracts trauma. So maybe Vanessa wasn't that type for him. Maybe that's why they ended up breaking up. Maybe he had given it 14 years and he was ready to go nuts again. But I'm saying maybe Amber, they certainly got married within months of knowing each other, which is never a great sign that things are healthy. And they probably are both a little bit nuts. And I am not saying she deserved to be beaten. No, sir, no, sir. But they probably had this dynamic of trauma, drama. Maybe the first couple times something happened, she was like, that's weird. Maybe I pushed him to it. I'll stay. Everyone should be forgiven. He was high. He was this. And then it gets bad. And then people's resentment come up for having stayed and they act more angry. And then the angry abuser is losing control and they hate that person. And it's an awful, complex cycle. And I have domestic violence in not my immediate family to do with my family, but people in my family have been the victims of domestic violence. And that's exactly what happens now. Johnny Depp may not be someone who was domestically abusive to Vanessa, but that doesn't mean he wasn't this time. Also, there's allegedly some cocaine use. I don't know if there is, but if there's cocaine going on, that can hurt things. And maybe, let's say he hadn't been on it the last 14 years and whatever. So it's a sick, messy situation. And I hate writing it off as he's an abuser who hates women. It's like he's a sick, sick person. And so is someone who unfortunately is the victim of domestic violence. There is a sickness there if they stayed for more than 1 second. And then there's the sickness of getting over it. So everybody's sick. It's very tragic. What the problem is in society is when people don't believe the woman, as though, like with Janice Dickinson, I believe all the Cosby victims except her. Why? Because she's crazy. Okay, but crazy people are victims of stuff too. Well, they shouldn't be. I only like perfect victims. So, okay, great. Boring story. Everyone's mad at me. But I read a great book about the 90s called Champagne Supernova. Thank God it's not about that terrible band Oasis. It was about how Kate Moss and Marc Jacobs rose to fame and the real story of like 90s fashion and the grunge movement. It's fucking fascinating. Do I think men will love it? Straight men? You actually might. There's a lot of business stuff in there. Not like men only need to hear about business and ladies love to hear about clothing, but it's a cool book. I think there's something in it for everyone. You get your early New York 90s scene. It's all about music, and that's what it's about. What the fuck is wrong with me? It's about music and fashion defining the 90s, but accidentally. They didn't mean to come together. They just did. So if you like the grunge scene, if you like stories about pretty girls on drugs, you got everything in that book. And so Kate Moss and Johnny Depp trashing hotels. Now you think, oh, well, they were just trashing hotels. I bet it was a domestic squabble and they were throwing things at each other, or he was so angry he trashed a hotel because they just found out one of the fights he had with Amber, he punched a wall and he blamed it on filming Pirates of the Caribbean, which is odd because the staff and cast and crew of Pirates of the Caribbean must have been like, no, you didn't. We have everything on tape. And he's like, okay. And he just ignores it. But so anyway, I think the man has always probably been violent. And I think he's always, it mentioned in the book, some cocaine use. So it seems like cocaine is a thing. I've heard stories. He did start the Viper Room, that Johnny was always the guy you go to when you need to find some drugs. Not saying he would give it to you. Maybe that's what he keeps in his scarves. I don't fucking know. But he knows the people who know the people. And this is all allegedly. And maybe I should list all the slander I say right up there with all the music I'm playing in the description. All right, that was boring, not funny. Everyone's mad. All right, next question. Hi, Jen. I truly enjoy listening to your podcast, and one of the reasons is because you are an advocate for mental health. I am. I work in mental health. I'm a counselor. And so many people have such little knowledge about what mental health counseling and social work really is. So I just wanted to say thank you from someone who works in the field. We need more voices to speak about the importance of taking care of your brain and emotions. That, you guys, is a coincidence. I didn't know that was the next letter. I feel like I don't do enough to call myself an advocate. I mainly just yell at people on Twitter who say stupid shit like, seeing my friends is my therapy. No, it's not. What was I saying? I got into it with someone on Twitter about something. Oh, sharks. Here's the thing. This woman who swam 1.5 miles into the ocean for her triathlon. I'm not saying it's her fault or she was asking for it, but she's assessing the risk for sure of getting eaten by a shark. She knows that. There's stuff I think you can do, like, I don't mean like she sprayed something on her like for mosquitoes, but there's certain, I don't know, she understands there's sharks. I'm sure she took some precautions, wore some kind of thing in case they bite, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm saying we all have risks with our job. Me, my voice. A shark, just my thing is the language, don't use shark attack. Sharks don't have brains. They're not like, I'm going to attack someone. They're dumb. They don't even they can't even move their neck. Just imagine if you your neck was in a brace all the time and you can't turn to the right or left and you're giant and you're just duh, in the ocean. That's a shark. They're out of control because they don't have necks. So that's not their fault. They're not attacking anyone. They see something near them and they start biting it. Wouldn't you? If you couldn't move your neck and something came up behind you, would you be like, well, I don't want to get a bad reputation? I'm sure it's nothing. Even though I live in this house alone, you're in their house. We throw trash in the fucking ocean and then we go surf in it on things that look like animals that a shark eats. And we're like, I got attacked. Now, I'm not victim blaming. So someone said, you're victim blaming. I said, no, call it a shark bite or a shark accident. I don't go, a truck attacked me on the freeway. No, I just got in its way or it was just an accident. I just think if you bump into a shark, it might use its teeth. It might not even mean to use its teeth. Again, their mouths are always fucking open. They're beautiful animals, but they don't have brains we do. And we're fucking stupid, so imagine how dumb a shark is. Okay. I am pro-shark, always will be till the day I die. Don't care. Don't care about people who get bit by them. I'm fascinated. And I someday would like to be eaten by a shark. That's how I want to die. I don't want to die, but if I have to, that's how I want to go. So I'd like to live to 100 and then just throw me in the ocean. But the thing that sucks about it is I don't want to drown. But I imagine the pain would be so bad, the endorphins kick in, which might be kind of fun, and then you lose all your blood and you faint. So in a weird way, it's kind of a relaxing way to die. Okay. What? Okay, I have my pages out of order. Oh, God damn it. You guys, Okay. Oh, this is a juicy one. Hang on, I have to take some water. My arm is numb. That's a vocal warm-up I'm supposed to do. Okay. Hi, Jen. You can use my name. I won't, just in case. Hang on. You guys have to get comfortable. How's the Periscope going? Are people saying rude things like, you're a dumb cunt?
No, they're being really polite. No one's really saying anything.
Oh, that's even better.
I know.
Is anyone watching?
Yeah.
Let me check my Twitter. Let's see what they're saying. No one's called me a corporate whore or anything like that. If I even say, like, Hillary Clinton is a person who's breathing, they're like, you fucking corporate whore. I'm like, all right, never mind. I can't even say nice things about anybody. Is there a band playing in here? Is this rehearsal studios? They sound like a real band. Maybe we can get autographs after. Okay. So, this is an email from someone. So, a little over a year ago, my boyfriend came to me with the news that he had been seeing his ex-girlfriend while I was working and that she was pregnant. He decided to do the right thing and go back with her, and the two got married pretty quickly. Well, honey, if you didn't work, he wouldn't have cheated. And this is why more women should stop working, because you can't keep a man with that insistence on getting health insurance and a paycheck. Okay, now I'm still a young man. What? Aaron, do you understand this? This guy had a boyfriend, but he says he's still a young man. How can you have a boyfriend if you're a man? He's a gay man. I'm sorry, you guys. I did not know I had gay listeners. And I hope, is anyone here offended, triggered? I just try to keep it straight and white. I'm just kidding. I love that you're like actually answering. Okay, so it seems like your ex-boyfriend was a bisexual because he went back with his girlfriend. I always misguidedly think if someone left me if a guy left me for a guy, I wouldn't be as offended if he left me for a woman because I don't have what he needs. So you aren't a woman, so why are you offended? Which is the dumbest attitude. Okay, hang on. All right, this is juicy. So everyone's on board, right? A man, let's start over. A little over a year ago, my boyfriend came, he said I can use his name. Oh, he didn't put his name. Oh, I didn't print his name. Well, let's call you Jim. All right, so Jim's boyfriend came to him and said, I've been seeing my ex-girlfriend. You were working, and she's pregnant. I'm going to do the right thing and go back with her. And then the two got married pretty quickly. Now, Jim says, I'm still a young man, so I'm not worried about whether or not I'm going to meet someone new. There's plenty of time, and to be honest, being single again has been quite nice. I've become a Netflix aficionado and now know the pizza delivery guys by name. It's fun. The problem is, my ex, his wife, and their baby have recently moved back into my neighborhood, and I've ran into them a couple times. Ugh. That part isn't so fun. Small talk sucks at the best of times, but this is next level. Whenever I see them, I feel so humiliated and start to have all of these feelings of insecurity that this sort of situation brings back. I never even really told anyone what happened because it's so embarrassing. But now that he's back, I guess people are going to find out what happened. How do I stop feeling so crappy about this? It's gotten to the point that I dread going out to places he might be. I don't want him back or anything weird and self-destructive like that, but I'm starting to really feel down on myself about it again. Any advice you have would be awesome. My only plan so far is either move or hire a pretend boyfriend in the style of some 90s rom-com, which so rarely works out well. Thanks for the great podcast. Okay, well, if you are going to get a fake boyfriend, do not pattern it after a 90s rom-com. Those never work out. The only time they work out is in Hallmark Christmas movies. There's been many, many fantastic Hallmark made-for-TV Christmas movies where a woman and a man both put in the classifieds that they need to meet a boyfriend or a girlfriend for the holidays so their family gets off their dick. And they meet and they fall in love. So don't despair. You can do that. Just, you have to watch Hallmark movies. I'm going to break this down. First of all, you said you feel humiliated and have feelings of insecurity. I've never told anyone what happened because it's so embarrassing. That's how you stop feeling crappy. You're only as sick as your secrets. You have to start telling people, and don't be a burden to one person. Spread it out. Give everyone the Cliff's Notes. Tell a couple of your friends and just tell them you feel really crappy. And guess what? When you open up to people, people will open up to you. I don't know if you can go to therapy. I always recommend that. The other thing I recommend, read any and all self-help books about just take care of yourself. I would do this. You're going to keep running into them and it's going to get easier. And it seems like, unless you were just this weird mistake he made, no offense, and is really meant to be with this woman and the kid, it sounds like he might do something like this again and do it to her. So don't compare, as I would say, I didn't make this up, your insides with their outsides. They might be miserable. We don't hope that they are. That doesn't make your life any better. But we're just saying you're going to have those feelings. Just say to yourself, I don't have to do anything about these feelings today. You're doing great already by not reacting, right? You're not sending him crazy texts or making it his problem. If you are, do not. But it sounds like you're not. And you feel bad. Okay, so we have feelings. We can't help it. We feel bad. That's all you have to do in those moments is feel bad. And you actually don't even owe them small talk. He kind of fucked you over. So you might want to say to him, if you ever see him alone, I am not angry, but I would love to not have to deal with this. And so I would appreciate if we run into each other, if we can just nod and be grateful for the time we had, but I don't want to engage in small talk. And you can say that to him. I would not start that conversation offline, don't email him that or text him. But if you ever see him, and if you only see him in this family unit, then don't say it then. But I don't know where you run into him, but if you're walking down the street, that's kind of tough to blow someone off, but you might just start with, oh, hey, great to see you guys. I gotta run though. I'm late. They probably don't, they might not want to be around you either. They might feel awkward as well. Time will do its thing and you'll feel better. But what's really happening is you're not talking to anyone about it and you have to. Everyone gets embarrassed because when someone fucks us over like that, we feel like losers because we didn't see it coming. And we shouldn't feel that way. It's not our fault. Sometimes we don't see things coming because we don't want to. And so the more you talk to people about it, the more you're going to get better at not picking someone like that next time, because you'll have people to be accountable to in your life. Let's say you start talking to people about this and then you meet a new guy and there's some similarities. Your friends could be like, this sounds like Jimmy and his family. So you can't feel down on yourself. You're just wasting your time. It's too victim-y. You already feel bad. So that's enough. Don't go down on yourself. You could go down. If you can go down on yourself, put it on YouTube, you'll be rich. But don't get down on yourself because you're just wallowing. It's time taken away where you could be helping others or enjoying your life. Don't waste this gift of a life adding feeling bad for yourself. You already feel bad. You already feel bad. Think of it as if you cut your arm, you have to give it time to heal. Would you scream at the cut and be like, why are you cut, you stupid arm? You go on with it. You have to act as if. You have to keep going on with your life as you feel shitty. That is called how everyone fucking feels every 10 minutes. Okay, great. Okay. What's this about? Okay. What? Okay, here's something. Okay, I'm in the middle of a page. I must have cut and pasted wrong. This letter starts that I'm very close with. I am the least organized person. And that aspect of my life is what keeping me. Okay, so this guy is trying to move, is what it sounds like. The thought of leaving all these people, especially my parents, makes me a little sad because I don't want to miss out on their lives or them miss out on mine, and I don't want to lose the precious, valuable time I have left with them. Moving across the country doesn't align with spending more time with them. However, I need to get the fuck out of this place and do something great with my life, and Las Vegas is calling my name. Okay, so he's from Portland, Maine, and he hasn't found his people in life. He doesn't find anything around there to be exciting. He doesn't like the snow. He's a vegan with a culinary degree, and he only has a desire to work in the vegan field in some capacity with food. He's madly in love with Vegas after visiting it twice. He loves the climate, landscape, energy, and the desert. But he's got a lot of close friends and family in Maine. I know the move doesn't have to be permanent. Good one. And I could come back anytime. I just think that I'll love it out there so much that I won't want to come back. And besides my friends and family, there's nothing else I would want to come back here for anyway. I know you moved away from your family when you were young and now excuse me. That's rude, right? Aaron's not listening. Brenton, you got the subtle thing there. I'm still young. No, I know what you're saying. When I was just a pup and now live on the opposite side of the country as them. So I'm wondering how you dealt with the fact that moving away means missing out and seeing less of the people you love. What is the adjustment of creating a new life with new friends like? Does seeing aging parents less and less over time affect you? I would love to hear any advice. Okay, first of all, I was a giant cunt when I moved to LA. I moved to New York when I was 23, and that didn't affect me because it's a 4-hour train ride. I came back to Boston all the time to still do comedy there, see my best friends and my family. So that was easy peasy. And then when I moved to LA at 27, it was hard, but the calling for my parents made me, knowing that I don't have the kind of family that pressures me. They're like, whatever you want to do. I'm not saying yours does, but I didn't have that sense of, there was just nothing for me to do there. And I wanted to live in LA and my parents wanted me to. I mean, it's exciting for them. And I moved here for my career, but at the time I was in love with someone and I moved here to be with him. So I wasn't really thinking straight. And then I have always been the type of person that's like, even though I don't like meeting new people and making new friends, I get a little, especially after I moved to LA and made new friends, I was like, ooh, I picked some doozies at first. You know, I'm the person that's like, she's so nice, she's in a cult. You know, like I never get people right at first. I'm getting better at that. So it was easy for me because the desire to be here was so strong that I was miserable anywhere else. And then I wasn't getting along with my family. My family and I were having major problems when I moved here. So it was kind of easy. And I wasn't big on family back then. I was like, fuck them. And so I moved in kind of a fuck everyone scenario. But it sounds like you've got the right idea. And now, you know, and so I started seeing my family a couple times a year instead of once a month. And it got harder, but then again, there was email. So we do email. My sisters and I text a lot. And I actually see them now and the quality time is better. I have relatives in Massachusetts, so aging parents. Yes, I mean, I can't take care of them physically, but I worry I need to, like, for example, I have to go to New York next week. No big deal. What? I'm going to be on the Two Dope Queens podcast and I'm going to go to New York for a few days. And I'm like, no one in my family would care, but I feel like I'm being a dick if I don't go to Boston for a day to see them. So I'm flying in there, spending the night, saying hello. And that's what I do. I'm the only one that visits. My family doesn't visit me. I'm the one with the money. I'm a one percenter, you guys. And so I will spend the money to fly there a couple times a year. So I feel like I see them just as much, but more quality. And so if you get that vegan business going, and you've got enough money, you could see them pretty often. And like my dad did fall down because he's older and he was sick. And I got to take a week off work at the time. I had a writing job and I got to spend a week in the hospital with him. And because I had some extra bucks, I got to pay for this really gorgeous hotel suite and have my sisters come stay with and my mom because it was a snowstorm. And so my dad had hit his head. He was in the hospital during a terrible snowstorm in Boston. You couldn't drive anywhere. And so my sister and my mom, who lived an hour from the hospital, were kind of fucked. I come into town, ooh, corporate whore here, voting for Hillary in the one. I'm not really in the 1%. I just say that to piss people off. I come to town with all the money Bill Clinton gave me from settling his assault cases, and I got a nice hotel for my family to stay in, and we stayed there for a week, and we were able to visit my dad. So because I left town to follow my dreams, I was able to be there for my family in a way I couldn't have been had I stayed around. And, right? So you never know. It could definitely bring inspiration to your family. It could bring more money to you, which can help everybody. And there's an adjustment, but this is your life, not theirs. And they would be more sad that you didn't go. I'm assuming everyone that you know, friends and family, they're doing what they want for a living. If you're not, it's not worth it. And as parents get sick, there are airplanes. We can get there in 5 hours. And once it gets to the level where they are needing to be in a nursing home or, you know, whatever, then you could, I don't know, do both. Maybe you could take some time off and help care for them. But I know what you're saying. It's more about you want to see them as much as possible before they die. I believe we just have to keep keeping that in mind no matter where we live. Great story. You could go visit your parents. You could be living in Maine and you could be like, oh, you guys, I can't come over for dinner tonight. And then your parents can go outside and a bird takes a shit on them and then they fall and hit their heads and they die. And you'd be like, oh my God, they still died even though I lived a mile away. Okay. I'm, as a vegan who, well, no, I'm not a cheating vegan anymore because I don't eat eggs anymore. So I would like to eat at your, wherever you cook in Vegas. Like, make sure it's a restaurant. I'm not going to come to your weird hotel room with a hot plate. Get it going and then I'll do it. Okay. We should end this now, right? Yeah. I usually do an hour, but I was late. I'll do 5 more minutes and then we'll wrap up. If this is the most, I say every episode's the most boring and they are, but this really is boring. People want to know about, has offensive stuff hindered? Okay. Because I talked about this cashier who had a stump, who hit on me at midnight at a grocery store and made me feel uncomfortable, not because of his stump, but because he got my change wrong and then told me that the compliment he gave me went to my head. And I was like, no, you just fucking didn't give me my money back. But the way he complimented me was weird. He like leaned in and said something like I shouldn't be at a grocery store alone at night, like as though my life was sad. And I was just buying water because I had, I don't have to fucking explain why I went to a grocery store. And so, but I was very nervous about saying that. And this woman said, big fan. I wanted to say I appreciated that episode. The thing is, you're not being offensive by questioning ideas. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but it really seems like questioning things has now become offensive and hateful. Does this hinder your comedy? I've been going to open mics, and it really seems like a lot of people are pretty afraid to give opinions that are critical, not even offensive in the context of doing stand-up. You even do it a few times in your episode where you have to go, not that I'm saying guys with stumps can't be confident, but I do find people have to go, look, I'm not saying blah, blah. I honestly think this hurts open and free discussion. I know the PC issue has been beaten to death. I just think stand-up should be bold and unafraid to go places to make things funny. I agree, Brian. But the thing is, on the podcast, these aren't written out jokes. I'm talking off the top of my head, and it's the way I would talk in conversation. I would want people to exclusively and exactly know that I'm not saying people with stumps can't be creeps. And that's how I talk in conversation. And that's the charm, if you will, of this podcast, is that you're seeing, you lucky people, my thought process. And even you now are seeing it on Periscope. And in my stand-up, I would never derail a joke by being like, and then some people have stumps, but they're dicks, but then other people have stumps and they're nice. I don't do that unless I write it in a funny way. So it doesn't hinder my stand-up because I don't really feel like I talk about anything controversial. And if I do, I have a reason and I make it funny. If you make them laugh, they can't think that's offensive. If they're offended, most likely someone didn't make something funny. And that's why I give disclaimers on this podcast, because it's fun, but it's not necessarily funny because it's not about writing punchlines. It's about talking extemporaneously. Ooh, big word. Must be nice. All right. The last one. That's boring. Oh, someone said, what's the nicest thing a stranger's ever done for you? I don't know about ever. But recently, in my mania, when I went to CB2 and bought 2 lamps and a table for no reason, I pulled up in front of my own apartment building, took the boxes out of my car, and this man and his wife were walking their dog, and he was a German guy. He's like, I help you. And then he just took the boxes, carried them up my steps, put them inside the building, and pushed them into the elevator for me. And I thought that was so nice. And then I almost wanted to ask them if they would just do the whole thing, like just come upstairs and bring it into my apartment. But I was like, that's weird. But that was super nice because as I was pulling up to the curb, I was like, you know what? People suck. And in the 30s, people helped each other. They also put each other in concentration camps. So I can't, if there's not going to be concentration camps, I'll take the other part of it, which is people don't help each other anymore. But it seems that they do. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. That's boring. Why'd I print that? No offense. Well, you don't know what I'm talking about. Someone is wondering, she's 34, no kids, not planning any. For the first time, she's experiencing, oh, you don't have kids? She's finding hard to deal with. It seems as though having children allows them flexibility of bending the rules at work. Like, I can't stay late today. It's my kid's first dance show. Or I can't do the early shift because my kids don't get up that early. It's the assumption that because I don't have kids, that I'll just fill in and I feel left on the hook. It's really starting to irritate me and I'm not sure how much longer I can just smile and keep going. It's frustrating they can leave early for a sick kid, but I can't leave early to get to a show in the city on time or dinner and drinks with friends. Why am I penalized for not procreating? How do you deal with it? Well, I'm a stand-up, so I don't have to deal with this shit. I don't have to deal with anyone being like, I have kids, I can't. I'm the boss and the employee. But when I've had jobs, yes, people with kids get to leave early. And I see that as, now I see it as the same as me going to a doctor's appointment. I don't think it's quite the same as me wanting to leave early to go to a show because they don't want to watch their kids' fucking dance show. They have to. They don't want to. It does seem like we pick up the slack, and I think we do. And I think that's just going to have to be how it is. How I deal with it, you can find out by reading my New York Times bestselling book. I can barely take care of myself. Tales from a Happy Life Without Kids. But yeah, I just don't comment and I distance myself. And I'm like, oh, well. And if it's really a slack I can't pick up, I'm like, I can't. Sorry. And you don't have to tell them what you're doing. I feel like no one should even have to be like, I'm picking up my kid. Just fucking leave work when you want. When I worked, can you play America the Beautiful? Just kidding. When I worked in the .com industry in 1999, we were told someday soon, because of the invention of the laptop, there won't be offices anymore. We'll all work from home. You don't need to go to offices anymore. And there's more offices than ever. I've been researching it. No, I don't know. Why are we bringing the laptop to offices? We should all be home. And we can Skype in a meeting. What the fuck are we doing? No one should have to say where they're going, and no one should have to go to work. Period. Okay. That's the end of this episode. I hope you all enjoyed the live Periscope from the All Things Comedy Studio. Here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to go to allthingscomedy.com and enjoy all of the many podcasts, so many, that producer Aaron does not have time to listen to mine, but now it's his new favorite. He can't get enough. Brenton and Cassie, you can't get enough either. And everyone on Periscope, they can and have had enough. And you can go to my website, jenkirkman.com, click on tour dates. Here's where I'm coming in the next couple months. And they're on sale now. London, Manchester, UK, Milwaukee, that's not up yet. Vermont, Burlington, Los Angeles, big show at the Improv, Tuesday the 18th. I'm doing a new comedy special at the end of September. They won't let me tell you what network it's with yet. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. They do this all the time. And I'm doing that new hour then. So please come, I Seem Funners, to that. All tickets on my website, JenKirkman.com. I will be in Scottsdale, Arizona at Stand Up Scottsdale Labor Day weekend. If you're not a rich bitch, you can go on vacation. Go sit outside at a restaurant that sprays water at you and then come see my show. I'll be in Buffalo, New York, and Portland, Oregon as well in September. Those tickets aren't on sale yet. And I'm taping my comedy special in New York City at the Bowery Ballroom, October 1st. Save that date. It is also not on sale yet. JenKirkman.com/about to get on my email list. I'll be doing a couple shows here and there at the end of the year. Get my books. Fuck people. Just go to my website and buy the shit out of everything. You can go to my merch page and buy I Seem Fun merchandise. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And I hope you enjoy it. And until next week, have fun.